For a person well established in ahimsa, there'll be no violence in his presence. A person that has no violence impulses will pacify aggression in his awareness. It's easy to become violent when you're hurt. It's harder to be peaceful and non-reactive. But maintaining your peace, maintaining your inner balance, maintaining a friendliness towards everything pacifies all animosity, Patanjali says. Satya pratishtayam kriya palashriyatvam. If you're established in truth, whatever you desire will happen. If you're connected to what truly matters within, and your imbalances, your personal ambition and greed is gone, whatever comes from within that you want to manifest or your divine nature wants to do will happen. So that's the power of being established in truth. And this is stories in the Indian tradition about Rama, etc. And once they said something, they would follow it because they know it had a power when they said it, and it had to be kind of done. And so for a person wishing for something to happen, just saying it starts positive things to happen. So, asteya pratishtayam sarvaratnopastanam. So for a person well established in non-stealing, all jewels will literally fall upon him. So once you go out trying to take what is not theirs, you create suffering for yourself and others and limit your potential for growth. If you do not seek things in dishonest ways, if you always try to be just, lawful and proper, plenty of abundance will rain upon you. Because nature wants to support you. The very nature wants to help you. So, but when we start stealing or lying or cheating or tricksing and fixing, we are the ones end up getting hurt. Brahmacharya pratishtayam virya labhaha. If you're well established in brahmacharya, or finding a intimacy with divinity from within and knowing that's the highest pleasure, you get the greatest energy. If you start looking for pleasure outside of yourself, thinking that's where the height of pleasure lies, you end up exhausting yourself. So Patanjali says. So for a brahmacharya, or one established in kind of finding a intimacy with divinity from within, that gives the greatest energy. Aparigrahasthairyē janmakatanta sambodhaha. Is it okay? If you are well established in non-possessiveness, you can start understand your subconscious patterns in the mind in a better way, and you can even understand previous births, Patanjali says. This is the only time he really relates to incarnation. And we take for granted that there is something continuing within us, and once we start, the key to understand that is understanding our own mind. And once you start to do that, you can understand the effect of the mind and what caused it. And then he comes to the niyamas. Sauchat svangajugupsa paraira samsargaha. Once you're well established in purity, you start to feel that this body is actually dirty. You can wash it, you can take care of it, you can go on endless diets of purification, but ultimately the body is dirty. It accumulates dust, ignorance, and because of that, purity can never be found in the body. Ultimate purity lies in the mind. And so there's too much contact with people or too much excessive obsession with the body is not where the focus of purity should lie. However, he says, Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasya Ekagraya Jayat Atmadarshana Yogyatvanica. He said, from being established in purity, he says, Sattva Shuddhi, a purity of intellect may start to rise. Saumanasya, and a positive attitude of mind may start to come forward. Ekagraya, and you may start to get one-pointed in your mind. Indriya Jayatma, and you start to conquer your senses, and your mind be more fit for yoga. So you see how that purity is not once you get deeper into purity, you start to experience somehow a distaste for your own body and the intimacy of others. And you may start to gain a deeper purity of intellect that comes from a proximity with the self. So there's a purification of the mind, a greater happiness from within, a greater benevolence from within, and a deeper one-pointedness. So he refers to Saucha in 2 sutras, the benefits of Saucha, or purity. The first one is a kind of somehow a distaste for everything that has to do with the body, and a kind of disassociation from crowds and the intimacy with others. And when you develop a sense of introspection and come to find purity from within, then Patanjali says, Sattva Shuddhi, it may come a greater purification of the intellect. Your mind may become purer and clearer. It says Saumanasya, you may become more positive and happier in your mind. Ekagraya, you may be more focused, and you start to control the senses, and you be more fit for yoga. So the aspect of purity is to kind of move your mind and body away from the enjoyment of the pleasure and the senses, and find what is the source of the self. This purity is, of course, important for Patanjali to lie the foundation to develop a greater purity of mind, clarity of intellect, a happiness from within, making the mind more focused and making it more receptive to yoga. And then he says, Santoshat anuttama sakulabhyaha. The greatest enjoyment comes from contentment. It is not from doing things or getting things. It's from learning to experience a contentment from within. Now, the goal and the benefit of tapas, Patanjali says, Kayendriya asiddhikshayat tapasaha. Being established and developing a greater sense of tapas, discipline, austerity, whatever it is, the benefit of that is Kayendriya siddhihi. Your mind and senses develop underlying qualities of perfection. They start to become better and function better in all ways. And ashuddhikshaya, and the disturbing tendencies within them are pacified. So you develop a greater intellect, a greater quality of your body, mind, and senses, and the purities within you start to dwindle from tapas. And then there's a svadhyayat ishtadevata samprayogaha. Svadhyaya, self-study, gives a greater proximity with whatever may be your chosen deity of study. What that, if Patanjali is aware of that there are different isms and different longings and different fates moving a person in various beliefs, and he doesn't favor neither, but he said, like, once you study something thoroughly and you go deeply into that, if you do it thoroughly and completely, you may get a deeper experience of that very thing that you study. And when it comes to religion, when it comes to understanding your mind, understanding the deeper subtle energy that moves the mind, he says that you may experience a closeness with your chosen deity, whatever that may be. And Patanjali says, like, svadhyayat ishtadevata samprayoga. Patanjali is not favoring any religion or practice or ism. He just said, whatever your chosen deity is, whether you are a Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever form of Hinduism you are practicing, which was prevalent in India at the time when Patanjali wrote this, he said, whatever God you feel drawn to, that may awaken within you, and you feel a closeness to that very God that you are studying from self-study. So the conclusion of that is basically that there is an underlying presence of divinity within us that has a kind of nameless essence according to Ishvara that he referred to earlier, but according to our cultural conditioning, we are all colored by the subtle things we study. So if we study a particular ism, we may go deeper into that ism, and the very essence of that ism we may feel closer to. So the ultimate of this is basically that whatever spirituality you are studying, that you are inquiring into, you'll be drawn deeper into that and start to see the truth of that in a more clearer way. That's what self-study is about. And then, of course, Samadhi Siddhi Ishvara Pranidhana, the last goal of the final niyama, which is Ishvara Pranidhana. Patanjali says Samadhi Siddhi. The perfection of Samadhi comes from a greater surrender to something bigger than yourself. If you know this divine essence which absorbs everything and encompasses everything, if you're able to kind of feel or be absorbed in that more fully and completely, the bonus factor of that, Patanjali says, is the perfection of Samadhi. Because that very essence is the support of everything and is also the support of your inmost soul.